Mike, a local nonprofit is using Kentuckiana generosity to help victims of gun violence. WDRB's Stefan Johnson shares the latest mission at the Community Foundation of Louisville.
For nearly 40 years, the Community Foundation of Louisville has been changing lives by providing college scholarships and connecting people, resources, and causes.
We do give out hundreds of millions of dollars.
Ramona Dallum is Vice President of Community Engagement and says the latest mission addresses a deadly epidemic in our city.
We have heard in the community that there is a need for resources to help address gun violence in our city.
So the group is creating relief funds for survivors of gun violence.
If we've heard that, even though it might not impact us personally, it's impacting our entire city.
The funds will be divided into 3 categories, including cash payments for survivors of the recent mass shooting at Old National Bank and the shooting at Chickasaw Park.
We want to help the survivors of those 2 incidents that you just named, and also survivors of gun violence.
The fund will also benefit organizations that help gun violence survivors.
The heirs of people who were murdered, people who were injured, and people who were possible witnesses.
Let's just look at 3 years in the last 3 months and 21 days. We've got over 500 plus citizens in Metro Louisville who've been fatally lost to gunfire in its most reckless way.
Christopher Truex is executive director of the nonprofit Game Changers and has spent the last 2 decades working with survivors of gun violence.
And 1,500 plus and growing citizens wounded by gunfire. When you combine those, that's over 2,000 in 3 years and 3 months.
Truex says the numbers tell the story and explains why this new fund is needed to help survivors.
Well, they're dealing with the aftermath of medical care, trying to cope with a whole new reality as it relates to if they survive a gunshot wound.
With photojournalist Neil Johnson, I'm Stefan Johnson, WDRB News.